All right, so we've all probably dealt with this kind of woman before. You know, the girl, she plays hot and cold with you. She acts really interested and then she pulls way back and all of a sudden she ghosts, things like that. Well, specifically the avoidant woman, not just a woman losing interest in general. I'm talking about the girl who, you know, she really has feelings, and the girl who really likes you. She's even said it. You can tell by her energy. But she starts to pull back, and then you start feeling like you're doing something wrong. But actually, with this individual, it's not your fault. They just have emotional wounds that they haven't healed. So let me just tell you about this one girl specifically who really, I felt like, control my mind for a couple years off and on. Met this girl about 5 years ago, and really cool. We met each other in a friend group. We had a thing for a while, kind of off and on. And she was very, very toxic. She had a ton of baggage. Amazing girl, amazing energy, one of the nicest people ever. Absolutely gorgeous. And she really is a beautiful person on the inside and the out. She just, unfortunately, at the time, had a lot of unhealed trauma, and you know, it's sad, but amazing woman. I don't know if she'll ever see this video, but I never want to talk bad about her. I'm just going to tell you the situation of what it was, and I'm not going to say any names, but she basically was afraid of getting close to someone. She was afraid of getting close to guys, and we definitely had a really strong connection. We had a really strong vibe, and it was hard for me to get close to her. It was hard for anyone to get close to her in terms of a healthy romantic relationship. And she even told me this, but I remember when we started to rekindle things and started to open up a little bit, she started to pull back. And right as things were really starting to get heated up at one period of time a few years ago, she started to pull back. And it was, you know, we'd gone to a festival together. We had a great time, and it was incredible. And she even said, I remember I was holding her, and she said, "You make me feel so safe. I love how you make me feel. And I just love our conversations," etc. And then I started to try to get closer to her, but she started to pull back, and she pulled away. And then, you know, we kind of had this thing going on for, I would say, off and on for about 3 or 4 years. Like, we would talk for a little bit, we would go out, maybe we hook up, and then she would go about her merry way and date other guys, and I would do my thing. And it was interesting because we were both avoidant at the time. And I can speak on avoidant because for years I was an avoidant attachment style, you know, kind of, I feel like in a way, kind of narcissistic tendencies. I'm not saying I was a narcissist, but I definitely had narcissistic tendencies to an extent. And, you know, gaslighting. And this was years ago. But I was also hardcore in the red pill phase. And, you know, when I was dealing with this woman, she was doing her thing, I was doing my thing, but then we'd come back together. And anytime we got together, it was like we never skipped a beat. But she was an avoidant attachment. I was also more avoidant. And so this definitely made things tough. It was very challenging when you've got two avoiding people, right? Like, but even dealing with her and her dealing with other guys that she dated, there was another guy in her life that really wanted something with her, but she was avoidant. He was more secure. It probably would have been a really good relationship for her. But yeah, she pulled back, and when things started to heat up between us, she pulled back and withdrew her energy. And we actually didn't even talk for like about a year. And that's crazy, but I was also stubborn because I was also avoidant as well. But reflecting back on it, looking at it, you know, even if you have a more secure attachment as a man and you're dealing with this avoidant woman, you're not doing anything wrong. You really just don't want to deal with women like this. And so, all right, how do we pick up whether someone's avoidant or not? It's that hot and cold behavior, right? They are saying things, everything you want to hear. They're texting you, they're talking to you, they're wanting to hang out with you, spend time with you, but they're kind of like, hot and cold with it. Like sometimes they're into it, sometimes they're not. And it really will drive you in a frenzy. It'll drive you nuts too. Especially most guys, because most guys are good guys. Now there are those like more toxic behaviors, like I explained how I used to be. But man, that hot and cold behavior, that's a telltale sign of someone being more avoidant. Okay. Now that's just one of the things, but showing warm and affection, right? But then next thing you know, she's distant, won't talk to you for days or weeks, and kind of feeling like aloof. It leaves you feeling confused and frustrated and maybe heartbroken, and you will literally drive yourself insane. Okay. It's crazy because they really do start to pull away when things get close. And that moment that the emotional connection, they start to feel that emotional connection, they get scared and they run away. They get cold feet. As soon as that connection starts to deepen and you can feel the vibe, she starts to feel it and she starts to distance herself. Say that she needs space or something, okay? And I'm not going to go on a whole other ramble about any other women that I've been with that had this attachment style, but I'm busy. I see my space. I need time. These women, they avoid vulnerability. I know I can speak on it because I used to be this way. Not wanting to necessarily have the deep conversations, or maybe they'll have some deep conversations, but then they start to pull back, and it leaves you feeling so confused because of the contrast in their energy, right? It's always making you guess and wonder, and like, it's so confusing. You seriously will drive yourself insane, but you don't want to do that, okay? You don't want to drive yourself crazy over it. I just want you to understand the things to look for, right? She says that she's like independent, but she's afraid of intimacy. She'll say that she doesn't need anyone, or maybe that she's just focusing on herself, but really it's fear of emotional connection. It's fear of emotional bond. It's fear of getting close to someone and letting someone in. And another huge part about this is it's really sad because I used to do it to myself. Lots of potential missed opportunities, but self-sabotaging. So I did this so much in the past, and even this girl, she would sabotage. You run away, you get scared of the connection, and you self-sabotage, and you ruin a lot of relationships. And it's really, really sad. Especially if you feel a connection with someone and you know that there's something there, there's potential there, and they just can't meet you in the middle. These people, they self-sabotage healthy relationships. I did it with one girl I was dating about 5 years ago, another girl, long distance relationship in Florida. And at the time I was, I think I was about 28 or 29, and she was in her mid 30s, much more mature, much more secure attachment style. And I was very toxic. I would gaslight her. Like I would stop talking to her out of nowhere, just completely ghost her. And that's because I was afraid of commitment. I was afraid of getting close to her. I wasn't ready to settle down. I was also immature. And I knew that she was older and wanted something more serious, and that scared me. And it's because I truly didn't love myself, and I hadn't done the healing yet on myself. I didn't feel even worthy of that love. And that's the thing too, with people that have this more avoidant attachment style. It's so deep because they don't feel on some deep level worthy of the love, worthy of the connection. And then they self-sabotage, they distance themselves, they ghost. And it's unfortunate. It really is sad. It makes you feel like you are the problem. It makes you feel like you're the problem, but it's their past trauma, their baggage, their past trauma, and any kind of toxic relationship history that they have been through. And before I did this with this girl, the one that was in Florida, God, man, it happened to me from another relationship with another girl. She did it to me. Actually, two girls did a couple of few years prior. And so I was so wounded, I hadn't healed yet. And some part of me, and it's crazy to say this, but some part of me just almost wanted to do it to someone else as soon as and it wasn't even her fault. And I was so toxic about it. But yeah, man, this is what to look for. Look, if a woman is healthy in her feminine energy and she is healthy emotionally, she's not going to do stuff like this, okay? And that's why before you commit to a woman, you have to really get to know her. It's a two-way street, though. You want to get to know her. You want to understand her. Does she have a good relationship with her father? With her parents? And look, I come from a divorced family. I have an amazing relationship with my mother. My dad, I've accepted it for what it is. I mean, I love my dad. I appreciate him and what he's done for me in my life, but he wasn't really the masculine leader, father figure that I needed for me and my sisters. And when we were younger, he wasn't really there for my sisters for several years of their life. And my sisters had daddy issues for a while. Fortunately, they ended up with great men that God blessed them with, and they're doing amazing, have their own families. But that's why you got to get to know these women, man. You gotta try to understand their past if you can, and you don't need to know all the details. You don't need to know how many women or how many guys they've been with and all this kind of stuff. But you want to get to know her, man. You want to get to know her. And no relationship's perfect. I get most people do come from probably divorced families. Most people, parents are not together for their entire life in a healthy relationship. I get that. My parents are both remarried, have separate families now. Everyone's cool. But if she has daddy issues, that's going to be a problem. That's a huge red flag. And if you haven't seen my green flags and red flags video, definitely check it out. If you're new here as well, go ahead and subscribe because I drop new videos daily. But at least she's made peace with her dad. Ideally, she has a great relationship with both of her parents, but that's not realistic, okay? That's like probably 70, 80% or more people. That's not reality. But she needs to have at least come to peace with it or accepted it and is in a better place and working on it, right? But you're not the problem, okay? If you're dealing with a woman like this, she has an avoidant attachment, and what she needs is someone that's secure. She needs someone that's more secure that can ground her. But coming from experience of dealing with women like this, if you start to notice that she's playing hot and cold with you, she's opening up but then afraid of taking things to the next level or a deeper connection, you don't want to build with this woman. It's going to be a headache. And it keeps you, and it's frustrating because you'll get the vibes, you'll get the message, that the feeling that she's into you and that this is going to go somewhere, but then out of nowhere, she'll ghost you, she'll play hot and cold, right? And it's a mind trap. And it really screws with you. But I would just say stay away from these women. I give them good energy. I give them love. But this is what to look for. If you're dealing with a woman like this, it's probably not your fault. She's probably just an avoidant woman, okay? Again, coming from a guy who's an ex-avoidant attachment, I've become more secure over the years. But, people are afraid of commitment. Why are they afraid? Why do they do this? Avoidant. Maybe because they didn't have a father around growing up. They didn't have the father figure there. Maybe their dad left. Maybe their dad died. Maybe they physically left. Or they died. It's leaving, right? They've been cheated on. Abandonment issues. And then they've been hurt so many times that they're afraid of getting left. They're afraid of getting their heart broken. And we all get our heart broken many times. It's happened to me a lot. But if you keep this armor on, if you keep these walls up, you know, you're only limiting yourself and what you can experience in your life. And I had a lot of armor on for years, being a previous avoidant guy. And I'm not saying you got to take it all off at once, but piece by piece, as someone demonstrates and shows you that they're a person that would be there for you. And this takes time. You know, you just need to get to know someone and understand their past, and just try to and see if they're going to be someone that you want to be in a relationship with. But the avoidant person, I would have told women to stay away from me if I could go back and tell them, the younger version of me that was the avoidant guy, the toxic guy. I would have told women, I would have encouraged women to stay away from me, because I used to be toxic. And it takes a lot of growth to get to that point to realize that, but it really is just going to cause you more heartache, more frustration than anything. If a woman is really interested in you, bro, I don't care what anyone says. She will make it easy for you to go out with her, to talk to you. She's going to want to talk to you. She's going to want to spend time with you. And she's going to be willing to reciprocate and open up to you. If she's not doing this, then you want to go find a woman, put your energy into a woman who is going to reciprocate and meet you in the middle. So anyway, you're not the problem. Okay. It's probably because she's an avoidant attachment. Okay. So anyway, if you found this video helpful, I want you to hit the like button, comment down below. If you've dealt with any avoidant women, let me know your most toxic relationship, your biggest heartbreak. We're here, a community, tribe of men ascending together. This is the Ascended Man, where I help you forge strength, elevate your spirit, and lead with purpose. So I'll see you guys next time.